Alright guys, what we'll be talking about today is how to generate the equation of a quadratic given that we just know its two roots. Now this is just an introduction. I know we just went through that project. Some people are still working, so we're going to take it nice and easy today and just kind of take this step by step. So what I have here is a poorly drawn parabola. Now this is a positive parabola because the end behaviors are going to positive infinity, but it crosses the x-axis at -2 and at 1. So therefore the roots, the zeros, the solutions are -2 and 1. I'm going to take those two roots and I'm going to create an equation that could represent this parabola. Now I say it could represent because if I were to take my vertex and I were to move it down, I would have a more stretched out parabola. Or if I move this vertex up, I would have a flatter parabola. Now all three of those parabolas, the one I have drawn, the one that would be more elongated, and the one that would be flatter, would all have the same roots. So there's something else that we'd include in order to explain those situations, but for now the goal is just to create one quadratic equation that could model this situation. So what I've done out here is I explained my process, and starting at the top we're looking at the factored form of a quadratic. Now we've been working with the standard form of a quadratic, that's the ax squared plus bx plus c. Now the factored form means that we have one factor here and one factor there. And so what I want to do is it's x minus the root times x minus the other root. Now since this is a quadratic, we're going to have two roots. If this was a cubic function or a quartic function, we would have 3 or 4 roots. That would be a polynomial. That's coming up later. For now, we'll just have 2 roots. So the first thing I did is I plugged in my -2 where the zero number 1 was, and then I plugged in my +1 where the zero number 2 would go. And then I rewrote it so I have x plus 2 and x minus 1. I am now going to use the distributive property and distribute the x to the x minus 1 and the 2 to the x minus 1. So that would look like this. So x times x minus 1 plus 2 times x minus 1. I distribute the x, I get x squared minus x. I distribute the 2, I get 2x minus 2. And then I combine like terms to get x squared plus x minus 2. This is just one possible example of a quadratic equation with the x-intercepts of -2 and 1. Good luck, guys.